Well guys, we nearly made it. Free agency is less than 1 day away, less than 24 hours away from opening, and the Lakers have been linked to a number of targets. Probably too many to count at this point. But for two of them, two center targets, two of the best if not the best on the entire open market, both of them appear to be unhappy in their current situation. Number 1, Walker Kessler, and number 2, Jalen Duren. And according to new reports on both of them, they might be trying to pivot their way out of their current situation. For Jalen Duren, according to Chris Haynes, Jalen Duren wants to sign and trade out of Detroit and is already planning to meet with Sacramento, who might give him the contract that he wants. Anywhere from $40–45 million per year, they might be willing to offer that to him. And then for Kessler, according to Tony Jones of The Athletic, Walker Kessler does plan to test the free agent market and will meet with multiple teams in Los Angeles. Yes, in LA. So I imagine and definitely would be willing to bet that the Lakers are on that list. So with that in mind here, what does that mean for the Lakers? What does that mean for their free agency plan or plans maybe for one or both of them? And how might it pan out? Let's talk about that, go through it bit by bit, and break down the current happenings on both Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren. So welcome back everyone. Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks, and don't worry, it's about to end. One way or the other, the Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren rumors will eventually stop. But beginning with Jalen Duren, like I said, he does want out. Something that's been hinted at for quite a while now, and following reports that Detroit lowballed him, which we don't have an exact number for, that could be anything from 25, 30, 35 million per year. For Jalen Duren, that would probably count as a lowball offer. Not for me, but I guess for Jalen Duren. And if you're going to get him, if you're not going to offend him, he definitely is looking for a 40+ million per year kind of contract, likely up to a max level deal. So at that point, is any other team but Sacramento willing to, or even smart to offer him that deal? I'm not sure they would be. And yes, even including the center needy LA Lakers. Even with their desperation, even with them trying to move on from DeAndre Ayton, trying to upgrade over him, I wouldn't pay Jalen Duren that much. And well then, for another update that just came out regarding Jalen Duren, this one actually directly involving the Lakers. According to Sam Amick of The Athletic, the Lakers have a phone call set up with Jalen Duren once free agency opens. Again, that being tomorrow. Maybe to discuss a sign and trade, maybe to discuss what he would want and how they could come to a mutual agreement on signing a contract with him. So that's pretty interesting. Not only Sacramento, but now the Lakers are once again engaging their interest in trying to get Jalen Duren. Giving Luka Doncic that A-tier center, giving him a long-term fit, maybe not the perfect fit in my opinion, but a fairly good young, athletic center that could be on that timeline. So that's the latest on Duren. Now, unlike the Sacramento Kings, the Lakers don't need help to sign him. They don't need a sign and trade. They can outright sign him if they have cap space, which they likely will, that being the preferred route. So they wouldn't need that, but even then, I'm not sure they want that. Not for that price anyway. Yes, I think they'd love to have Jalen Duren. I think they like the fit between him and Luka Doncic. A great lob threat, very athletic, a physical, low to the ground kind of big, with some vertical threat ability though too. I think it would be a fun fit, especially offensively, especially in that pick and roll game. Maybe not so much on defense, I guess that's up for debate, but it's simply not worth that price in my opinion. Hey, if you would prove me wrong, if you'd prove the other teams that won't offer him wrong, then I guess that's better for him. But for right now, and following that really bad playoff performance, not to mention kind of 2 bad ones in a row for him, yes, he's still young, only 22, so maybe give him some time yet, but that was a pretty bad playoff run for him. Down from 19 points per game in the regular season, all the way down to 10.2 on more playing time per game. The scoring went down, the efficiency went down, the defense went down, it got him played off the court at times. I'm not sure how he can do that and then go, yeah, I'm definitely worth a max level contract after that performance. Again, if he simply wants out of Detroit and wouldn't take up to a max contract to get him, then yeah, I definitely would have interest. I think the Lakers would at that point. Maybe they'll even meet with him or reach out to his agent and talk about it, but I think it's probably not going to happen for them. So, how about Walker Kessler? Are they ready to completely pivot? Are they ready to go all in? Even though he's a restricted free agent and they have absolutely no guarantee to get him? Well, that's up for debate and it's not guaranteed quite yet, but again, I do imagine they're on that list of teams that do plan to meet with him. And according to some, he will probably likely want to meet with them too. And given that he will be meeting in LA, might that be a hint that he wants to be in LA? After all, he does play and live in Utah, so why is he meeting teams in LA? Why is he doing it there? Why is he doing a lot of workouts and posting stuff from LA? Is it maybe a coincidence, or is it maybe a hint? Who knows? That's up for you to decide. But I think the Lakers, and I think we all know the Lakers would like him at this point. I think we all as Laker fans would like him at this point, but I'm definitely keeping my expectations low. Better to keep them low and not be disappointed than to maybe be hopeful and then ultimately be even more disappointed. But hey, before we get too far into it, let me tell you about PrizePicks, the #1 sports picking app in America. It's simple. All you gotta do is pick more or less than your favorite players, and then you set your lineup. And for example, here's what I got going on for later today. For my first pick, I have Nick Lodolo giving up more than 0.5 earned runs, which he has done in 4 out of his past 5 games. Then for my second pick, I have Tyler Mahle giving up more than 0.5 runs allowed too, which he has done in 4 out of his past 5 as well. Then for my third and final pick, I have Aaron Nola striking out more than 3.5 batters. So if you want to follow along with me, or make your own picks, then be sure to download the app, use code HMA, and get $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. But now getting back to our topic. But hey, if they're given a meeting, if they're able to work out a contract, find a contract, and if he knows the price that maybe Utah won't match, I mean, you'd have a better idea than anyone. Maybe it could work out. Again, do not get your hopes up too high here, but this might be a step in the right direction. And I think for the most part, it is a good indication that he is willing to leave Utah and might even want to leave Utah. And then if you're looking for a little bit more fuel to the fire, they did bring back his backup, that being Jusuf Nurkic, re-signing him to a 2-year contract, therefore putting him in a spot for depth and maybe protection if they would lose Walker Kessler, along with obviously having both Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr., both of which are more 4s rather than 5s, but simply put, they have a lot of frontcourt depth. No, they don't have payroll problems, at least on regard to the first or the second apron, which I often mention and kind of sound like a broken record at this point probably. But the fact is that Walker Kessler might want out, they've not been able to reach a new contract agreement, he might be a little bit aggravated by them at this point, they're definitely not on the same page, and he is more than willing to leave if they're not willing to offer him the contract, not willing to offer him the price, and the situation that he wants. However, apart from that, and kind of looking at it from that standpoint, I would simply call it good posture work. The fact that he is making his contract value go up, the fact that other teams are now going to make multiple offers, and that he is gaining more interest, maybe gaining a bit more leverage, and simply showing the Utah Jazz that, hey, other teams want me, they might be willing to outprice you, and there's a lot of outside interest that I am in fact looking into. Not simply trying to cater to whatever contract they give me, not trying to cater to simply your franchise and what you want me to do, but I'm going in a different direction if you are not willing to cooperate. That's what he and his agent are trying to accomplish here. But hey, even with that, it doesn't matter that much because at the end of the day here, Utah does hold all the power. Walker Kessler can posture, he can get multiple contract offers and all the interest that he can possibly want or try and get, but the Utah Jazz have all the power to retain him. Whatever contract he gets, however many contracts he gets, it doesn't matter because they can simply match it. They can say, oh, that's a nice contract you got there. Let me simply match that and end the hopes and dreams of that team trying to get you, whether it be the Lakers or any other team for that fact too. They can simply match it and make you move on, and that will be the end of that. Or even if they would agree to it, meaning that they would let him go to a different team, if it wouldn't be a cap space team, they still need the Utah Jazz to make it happen. Like the Sacramento Kings. If they wouldn't go the Jalen Duren route, or if a different non-cap space team would try to get Kessler, they need a sign and trade to make it happen. Yes, the Lakers might not be in that category, but it's not only the Lakers here. The report does say multiple teams, and from that standpoint, the Utah Jazz might make a sign and trade, get something rather than nothing, if they don't like the contract offer, and instead send him to that team over what the Lakers might try to, or even directly do offer him. Maybe they go that route and get Walker Kessler to take that contract. Might it be more money or a longer term deal? Who knows, but whether it be out of spite, whether it be to get something rather than nothing, that will be an option for them too. So simply put, the odds are stacked up against the Lakers here. They're going to have a tough time getting him. gonna have a tough time finding the Utah Jazz breaking point, finding the contract amount and the contract price that they wouldn't match, and simply trying to get Walker Kessler away from the Utah Jazz. Even with the meeting, even with Kessler kind of doing the posturing again, meeting with other teams and showing outside interest, that can only take him so far. At the end of the day here, Utah does hold all the power. But hey, those are only my thoughts, and again, we're nearly at the end of this. Whether or not he becomes a Laker, or goes to a different team, or simply stays with Utah, it is about to end. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But those are my thoughts on both Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren, and the latest reports about them. And with that in mind here, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the reports? How do you feel about Jalen Duren and Walker Kessler being unhappy, and maybe trying to find a way out? Let me know your thoughts and how you think both situations will ultimately end in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day or night.